Donald Trump ever tries to stop someone from talking about him on television, and it's me. Usually when he wants somebody to stop talking about him, he pays them $130,000. I think the guy who fathered Eric and Don Jr. would know how to handle jokes, but I guess not. The article says news of these calls spread around the corridors of power in Washington. Wow, what a plot twist. He wanted me to do it for nothing. I wonder what it was specifically that sparked his Trumper tantrum. I wonder what it was he found so objectionable. I don't know. Maybe it was the time I had Stormy Daniels look at a plate of carrots and to size them up, and she picked the little one.
What would make Donald Trump Jr. call the cops over a Jimmy Kimmel joke? It wasn't just one punchline. This spiraled into a courtroom spectacle, a viral nickname, and even calls to Disney. You won't believe how one live TV joke turned into a political meltdown. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
He made her ambassador to one of the farthest countries possible. What a family this is.
What you are witnessing is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual idiots with a case pending in the New York metropolitan area.
Camera loves them.
This is the defendant, Don Jr. He's here to show his father.
Don Jr. called the cops over a joke. Let that sink in for a second. Comedians make jokes about politicians constantly. It comes with the territory. But when Jimmy Kimmel did it, Don Jr. didn't just tweet about it or complain in an interview. He actually picked up a phone, dialed 911, and reported it. Now, this wasn't your average run-of-the-mill joke either. Kimmel aimed straight at the jugular with what he called the TACO joke. Trump always chickens out. Sure, it's silly, but in the world of political satire, it cut deep. Then came the internet, which transformed the acronym into a meme goldmine. Somebody took it to the next level with a parody song called Taco Man, riffing on Trump's infamous reputation for backing out of business deals and political promises. It blew up instantly, spreading across social media faster than Don Jr.'s dad blocks critics on Twitter. Don Jr.'s response? Complete outrage. You'd think Kimmel had accused the family of crimes with the way Jr. acted. Oh wait, never mind. Those investigations are already happening. Instead of brushing it off like most people with slightly thicker skin would, he escalated a lot. Jr. wasn't just upset, he felt personally attacked, as if this silly little taco-themed roast was a direct affront to his family legacy. That's where things got weird. Out came the police involvement, an absurd reaction to a late-night joke. Imagine being that humorless, that insecure, that your response to satire is to involve law enforcement. What exactly was Don Jr. hoping for? That the cops would march into ABC studios and arrest Kimmel for making people laugh? Talk about an overreaction. And the internet ate it up. The ridiculousness of calling the police over a comedian's joke is one thing, but it also revealed something deeper: major insecurities in Trump world. The song Taco Man wasn't just funny. It highlighted Trump's loud declarations followed by quiet retreats. It hit a nerve. The entire fiasco made Don Jr. look like a caricature, a walking "do not roast me" warning. Kimmel poured salt in the wound by turning the taco joke into a recurring bit, using it to slam Trump's failures, from his border wall promises to pulling out of negotiations with North Korea. And while Don Jr. was fuming, the rest of the world laughed harder. Behind the scenes, Trump himself wasn't taking it so lightly either, and what he did next proves just how thin-skinned the whole operation is. Let's just say it involves some frantic phone calls and a major corporation. What do you do when you're roasted so hard on live TV that it bruises your ego? If you're Donald Trump, you pick up the phone and call Disney. Yes, Disney, the company behind Mickey Mouse, Marvel, and Star Wars, because they also happen to own ABC, the network that airs Jimmy Kimmel's show. Back in 2018, While Trump was still president, he reportedly got so upset over Kimmel's jokes that he instructed his staff to pressure Disney into reining Kimmel in. Imagine being so powerful that you've got the nuclear codes, but instead, you're more focused on silencing a late-night comedian with a monologue and a good camera angle. The irony here is sharper than any punchline Kimmel could write. Trump, the self-proclaimed anti-censorship guy, the free speech warrior, was demanding Disney push pause on Kimmel because the jokes weren't flattering enough. At least 2 calls allegedly went out from the White House to Disney executives. 2. Somebody in the highest office of the land had to sit there, probably in a suit, and say, "Hi, yes, it's the White House. Can you make Jimmy stop being mean to the president? You can't make this stuff up." Now, Trump has never been shy about finding creative ways to silence his critics. This is a guy who's threatened lawsuits, teased financial retribution, and built a whole career branding any challenge to his fragile ego as fake news. But the Disney move? That was a whole new level of desperate. Still, if Trump thought this would intimidate Kimmel, he greatly underestimated the power of sarcasm. Kimmel responded to the entire saga head-on, saying the whole thing felt like a plot twist in a bad sitcom. "This is a guy who pays people to stay quiet, and now he wants me to shut up for free?" Not only did he lean into the absurdity, but he doubled down on the jokes, essentially telling Trump, "Thanks for the material." Of course, Trump wasn't going to take that lying down. He fired back with his go-to insults, calling Kimmel untalented and a lousy host, to which Kimmel responded by thanking Trump for watching his show. Every time Trump lashed out, Kimmel turned it into a punchline, a joke, or a recurring segment, and instead of silencing critics, Trump's tactics fueled the fire. The whole debacle snowballed, with public ridicule growing louder, especially as Kimmel's jokes kept landing harder. Trump's heavy-handed attempt to control Kimmel not only failed, but it made him and his family look even more ridiculous. If this battle wasn't embarrassing enough, wait until you hear what happened next, when Don Jr. found himself in a courtroom trying to defend the family name. Spoiler alert, it didn't go well. Don Jr.'s time on the witness stand didn't just grab headlines, it handed late-night comedians a gift on a silver platter. In the middle of the $250 million fraud trial against the Trump Organization, Don Jr. somehow managed to turn legal testimony into comedy material with one bizarre statement. Under oath, he described his father as an artist with real estate. That's right, an artist. Because when you think of art, you think of Picasso, Van Gogh, and Trump Tower, apparently. It wasn't long before Jimmy Kimmel and pretty much the entire internet turned this into the punchline of the week. Kimmel wasted no time. On his show, he dissected Don Jr.'s testimony with all the precision of a comedian smelling blood in the water. He didn't just play clips from the trial, he broke down the absurdity line by line. The artist with real estate comment. Kimmel pointed out that this was a man whose idea of art was, quite literally, stamping his own name in gold letters on skyscrapers. And as Kimmel went on to scrutinize the gaps and contradictions in Don Jr.'s testimony, it became clear that the Trump family's version of events didn't quite line up with reality. Kimmel framed it as the kind of exaggerated storytelling you'd hear from someone who forgot they were under oath. This wasn't just about laughs, though. The courtroom drama became a cultural moment, with the artist line taking on a life of its own online. Memes flooded social media, with people photoshopping Trump's face onto everything from the Mona Lisa to a Jackson Pollock painting. The phrase "artist with real estate" trended for days, cementing itself as the latest in a long line of Trump family gaffes made unforgettable through humor. The jokes practically wrote themselves, but Kimmel's ability to connect the absurdity of the legal testimony with political accountability gave them an edge. It wasn't just about dunking on Don Jr., it was a reminder of how disconnected the Trump family's narratives were from reality. The reaction from Kimmel's audience revealed just how much power humor holds. People tuned in not just to laugh but to make sense of the situation. Late-night comedy became the lens through which absurdity was exposed. And with Don Jr.'s testimony, there was plenty to expose. His attempt to defend his father ended up reinforcing their family's reputation for being out of touch, and the laughter didn't let up. But here's the bigger takeaway. Comedy isn't just a way to laugh at power, it's a way to question it. And while Don Jr. was busy painting his dad as a misunderstood artist, The rest of the world saw something very different. Humor isn't just about laughs, it's about holding a mirror to power. The Kimmel-Trump saga proves how satire can strip away the illusion of invincibility that some leaders desperately cling to. When Jimmy Kimmel turned Trump's blunders into punchlines, he exposed hypocrisy in a way facts alone sometimes can't. In any functioning democracy, the ability to question power, even through laughter, isn't a threat. It's a necessity. Comedy amplifies accountability, especially when leaders try to suppress it. And here's the kicker. Attempts to control the narrative, like Don Jr.'s meltdown, usually backfire. They don't silence critics, they spotlight the very flaws they'd rather hide.